So now let's look at problem number 3. Two of the most expensive movies ever made were Titanic and Waterworld. The cost to make Titanic exceeded the cost to make Waterworld by $25 million. The combined cost to make the two movies was $375 million. Find the cost of making each of these movies. So we're going to follow our 5-step process again. Now we have to find two things. We have to find the cost of Waterworld and the cost of Titanic. So we're going to start with one of them. And again, we want to choose which one we're going to start with based on what we're given in the problem. So we were told the cost to make Titanic exceeded Waterworld by $25 million. So if we knew what Waterworld was, all we'd have to do would be to add $25 million, and then we would have Titanic. So we're going to start with Waterworld. So the X is going to equal cost to make Waterworld. Now step 2, we're going to write an expression, and it's going to be X plus 25, and that's going to be the cost to make Titanic. Now the reason why I don't have to have all those zeros for 25 million is because everything is in terms of millions. For instance, 25 million, 375 million. So as long as when I get my final answer, if I write the word million at the end, then I'm okay. Alright, step 3, let's write our equation. So what we know is that the combined cost to make them was $375 million. So that means if you took the cost to make Titanic plus the cost of making Waterworld, it's going to equal 375 or 375 million. So now let's plug in what we know. We know that Titanic is X plus 25 and Waterworld is just X. So we have our equation. Step 4 is to solve it. So we have like terms, so we're going to combine them. So 2x plus 25 equals 375. We're going to subtract 25 from both sides of the equation. So 2x is going to equal 350. And then we're going to divide both sides by 2. So x is 175. So now we have to write out what our answer means. So x is 175. So we know that the cost to make Waterworld was $175 million. Now we just have to figure out the cost to make Titanic. Well, remember what we said, Titanic was 25 more than Waterworld. So if Waterworld is 175, add 25 million more, now we're at 200 million. So the cost to make Titanic was 200 million. Okay, so we've answered the question. And now step 5, we're just going to check. So we need to make sure that the combined cost is 375 million. And we get our 375 million because here is the cost of Waterworld plus the cost of Titanic, and 200 is 25 more than 175. So it checks out. Alright, let's look at number 4. A repair bill on a sailboat came to $1,603, including $532 for parts, and the remainder was for labor. If the cost of the labor is $63 per hour, how many hours did it take? Alright, so we're looking for the amount of hours, so that's going to be our x. So x is going to equal the amount of hours. Now, step 2 in this case, there is none, because we're only looking for one quantity, so there is no other quantity to represent. Step 3 is to write our equation. So if it helps to write it out in words first, you might want to do that. So the total cost comes from two things. Comes from parts and labor. Alright, so we know that the total cost was $1,603, of which $532 were for parts, and the labor is $63 per hour, so it's going to be 63x, or 63 times x, because for each hour we multiply by $63. So step 4, now we are going to solve this. So we're going to subtract 532 from both sides. So we get 1071 equals 63x. So to solve that, we have to divide both sides by 63. And we come up with x equals 17. Now let's answer the question. This means that it took 17 hours to repair the boat. And then of course we want to check it. So step 5, we're going to check it. We're just going to make sure this all matches out. So 1,603 should equal the 532 for parts plus $63 for each hour of labor, and we had 17 hours of labor. So 63 times 17 is 1,071. And when we add these together, we've got it to check out.